What is up everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today we'll be reacting to Dale Earnhardt's endurance racing career. Now I have no idea what this is going to be talking about. Obviously endurance racing, duh, I'm not stupid, but like what it entails, I don't know. I literally only knew him as a NASCAR driver, so I didn't know that he did endurance racing, if that's what we're going to get into here. But yeah, so I'm looking forward to it. I'm intrigued. Can't lie, don't really know what I'm getting myself into. But before we get into the video, make sure you subscribe. Over half of you that watch my videos still not subscribed. Just hit the bell, it takes 2 seconds. And if you'd like to become a member on this channel and receive exclusive perks, you can also do that by hitting the join button down below.
If you're seen as a rookie in
Why are we opening with Lando Norris? He looks so young there.
And when you arrive at your first big race, you're often looking up at the established professionals around you. At the 2001 Daytona 24 Hours, however, this was the exact opposite, as one of the drivers competing for the very first
Oh, the Daytona 24 Hours, okay.
Dale Earnhardt.
Oh, did he take part in it?
And how did he perform in his first and only 24-hour endurance race?
First and only 24-hour race, okay.
Dale Earnhardt had properly made his mark on American racing history and was arguably looking at maybe wrapping up his NASCAR career. He took great pride in preparing his son Dale Earnhardt Jr. to follow in his footsteps, and it's pretty obvious to see that he really enjoyed racing with him in NASCAR. But the inherent nature of NASCAR means that one of them would always finish ahead of the other. So General Motors Racing Department came with an idea that would see the father and son not race against each other, but with each other.
Oh, okay.
The two were offered to share a car at the 2001 Daytona 24 Hours.
Oh, they shared a car together, okay.
Interested in running the legendary endurance race, so they obviously agreed and quickly started a rigorous 6-day testing schedule at Sebring, where they'd get to know their co-drivers for the race, Kelly Collins and Andy Pilgrim, and get used to the car they'd be driving, the Corvette C5R.
Wow, look at it.
Compared to the NASCAR stock cars Dale was used to driving, the Corvette was a completely different animal.
Yeah.
Ever since its debut in 1999, Corvette Racing had developed the C5R into a proven race winner. Born in the shadow of the all-conquering Viper, the Corvette soon took over the reins as the new top American GT race car. It was powered by a massive 7-liter V8, which was bigger than an engine you'd find in a contemporary NASCAR stock car. It would race in the GTS class, and this was a time where those cars could compete for the overall lead in long endurance races. This was proven just a year prior, when the C5R finished second right behind one of the many Vipers. The open-top prototypes had a pace advantage, but were generally less reliable. So there was definitely some hope of maybe adding another Daytona win under Earnhardt's belt.
Did he? I don't know.
Get used to the track, or at least part of it. He knew the oval like the back of his hand, but the infield layout was uncharted territory.
Well, I know the big part of it very well, but this part through the infield, I've just slept in.
Scott Pilgrim was tasked with starting the race after the car qualified 18th overall out of the massive 86-car strong grid.
86 cars? What?
Corvette in P12 and an aging but still competitive Porsche 911 GT1 Evo in P10. After a hectic start, Scott Pilgrim quickly started making up ground. After an hour of running, he took the car to the pits for the first scheduled driver change. Dale, probably being the only one who was still using an old-school open-faced helmet, was ready and waiting to make his endurance racing debut.
For endurance racing?
After a slow stop, where he took plenty of time to strap in, he set off. But not after stalling the car first. Proof that even the most seasoned drivers can make simple mistakes.
He struggled to start it, bless him.
Though, as once a full course caution had been lifted, Dale set out to do what he does best. Despite having 34 wins at Daytona, they were all at the oval, not the road course.
Yeah. I was going to say, how did he do? Like, was it, I mean, obviously it must have been difficult.
I've done one tiny bit of wet weather driving in a NASCAR practice session a few years earlier.
Oh, it started to rain. Yeah, that must be different as well, because obviously when there's rain in NASCAR, they just red flag and wait for the rain to stop. Because they don't do that in endurance racing.
Time lost during a caution early in the race. He even got into the battle with a sister car. The very experienced Johnny O'Connell behind the wheel of the number 2 car eventually had to let Dale go.
Wow.
He went on record saying he found himself quicker in the infield, but once they got to the banking, Dale just stormed off. He'd driven the oval thousands of times, so he knew where the best lines were.
Yeah.
Dale would eventually hand over the car to Collins with the number 3 car ahead of the number 2 car. Collins then proceeded.
I was going to say, he must have done so well on like the oval part.
To hand off to Pilgrim once again. By the time Dale Earnhardt Jr. was up for his first stint, it was already nighttime. He quickly got caught out by the tricky damp.
Oh, he spun twice.
Despite the trial by fire, Jr. adapted quite well to the new environment and gradually started going faster and faster.
That was going to be my thing, actually. Like, the weather must have been their biggest difficulty, not actually getting to grips with the infield of the track, the weather, because they don't obviously drive in the rain in NASCAR.
For his second stint, he had to limp the car back home after a suspected transmission failure.
Oh no.
It ended up being a half-shaft failure, and the team lost half an hour replacing it. After Collins and Pilgrim did their best to make up for lost time, Dale was back in the car for a third and final time. Now he'd really be up for a challenge, as the track was now properly soaked. His stint while the track went to dry and then wet again was nothing short of amazing. You really couldn't tell this was his first time racing in the rain.
Look at him go.
Dale really got into a groove and even asked on the radio to do a second stint, which the team agreed to let him do as he was running a strong pace. Dale seemed to properly enjoy racing in the rain, as he was even willing to do a third stint. He didn't get to do that, but he was visibly happy when he got out the car, stating that he really enjoyed driving it. He was hooked.
He wanted to do 3 stints in a row.
You look like a happy man, though. You've obviously had the time of your life out there.
I'd want to stay in there another stint. I was ready to go another one.
That was it for Dale, as his son, Collins and Pilgrim took the car home in an impressive 4th place overall finish.
That was his last stint. I could see why he didn't want to get out.
Over the line, as that managed to not only win its class, but also the race overall. A historic victory for Corvette racing. After the race, plans were put in motion for the Earnhardts to do more road racing. Dale's post-NASCAR career was taking form, and solid plans were laid out too for a Le Mans entry under the Dale Earnhardt Inc. banner.
He was going to Le Mans.
Later, Dale Earnhardt would lose his life in the Daytona 500. The 24-hour event would be the last race he ever finished. Dale's short but impressive stint in endurance racing.
The last race he ever finished. I'm going to cry. I'm too emotionally unstable for this.
Dale used. Perhaps he had some influence on it, as that specific car went on to finish second at Le Mans back-to-back in 2001 and 2002, proving to be an essential part in Corvette's racing legacy. With the Garage 56 NASCAR stock car competing at Le Mans in 2023, one can imagine Dale would have definitely been part of the team if he was still around today.
Yeah, for sure. It was interesting. Like I said, I didn't know that he took part in any like endurance racing, so it was really cool to see him like do the Daytona 24-hour and see all the footage there, and the fact that he loved it as well, and he wanted to, in his last stint he wanted to do like 3 stints in a row. That was pretty cool. And then they said that that was his last race he ever finished, and that finished me off and I wanted to cry. But yeah, I really enjoyed that video. So with that being said, if you have any other videos that you'd like me to react to, drop them in the comments and working my way through everybody's suggestions at the moment. If you did want to check out any of my other socials or become a Patreon member and get early access to videos like this, then you can do all of that down below. And if you want to become a member on this channel and receive exclusive perks, you can also do that by hitting the join button down below. But I hope you enjoyed today's reaction, and I will catch you next time for the next one. Bye!